Patria Filio Spiritus Sancti. How long since your last confession?
A week, Father.
Go ahead, my son.
Impure thoughts towards some of the women in the ministry.
And in this war that rages all around us, are your hands still clean?
Yes. Although I had to give orders to kill the people in the village of Demeltis. They've been harboring enemies of the regime for far too long. They've been warned, but wouldn't listen.
And for this you seek absolution?
The enemies of the regime are dead. The glorious state endures. I need no absolution, Father.
Do you have any further confessions to make?
No, Father. I can enter heaven justified.
I'm glad to hear that. For your sake, my son.
Remember me? I ought to kill you now! I think about that. Things change. That was another country, another time. Got a proposition for you. Better jump in. So, you're an old friend of Billy Quigley, no?
I know him.
In exchange for a shorter prison sentence, we've managed to turn him. He's one of ours now. We had him hook up with Ahern and Bell. Hannah.
They were to meet Quigley in London. If they've slipped in, it's with new passports, names and faces for all we know.
What we do know is that they plan to assassinate the President of the United States here on British soil.
Now, what do you need me for?
Well, you know Quigley. His MO, his habits. It's been 2 weeks since his last communication. We're concerned that he may have been compromised. Killed, possibly.
The President arrives at the end of the week. We don't know when or where the hit will take place. We need you to find Quigley.
And if he's dead?
Then we are well and truly bucketed.
What would Michael Ahern want with Quigley?
It's obvious. Quigley's one of the best bomb makers in the business.
So is Michael Ahern.
If you were so fond of these people, then why did you quit the grand cause?
Who said I was fond of him? All right. You wait here.
The hell I will.
This pub's IRA. I walk in there with you, they'll take you around back, blow a hole in your head, and I won't get anything. But you're the boss.
Okay. And take this two-way. Frequency 9 to send, 6 to receive. I should have put a wire on you.
No, maybe next time. I'm on a lead, but I work alone. I'll call you when I have something concrete.
Dylan! Dylan! Better say your prayers, you bastard.
Ferguson?
He ducked out on me.
Like you thought he would. Good work, Bernstein. Stay in his tail.
It's Ali Halabi, don't shoot.
Ali Halabi. Meet Nora Bell. Well, come on ahead. As long as you've got the money with you. Nora and I were in the Ulster Volunteer Force together. Then the Red Hand of Ulster. Until we had to move on.
Till they threw us out, he means.
We were killing a bit too often for their liking. Hypocrites.
This is Billy Quigley. Another one who the Red Hand threw out. Billy and I served time together in the Mace prison.
Is it Catholics usual targets? Or just the IRA?
Same difference.
Nora's from Belfast too. Her father was in the army. Killed in the Falklands War. Her mother, her sister, her grandfather, all the family she had left in the world were killed in a street bomb planted by the IRA back in '86.
You could say I've been taking my revenge ever since.
Now, Billy I don't know so much about, except he's like us now. Open to all offers. Does your army of God insist that you play a part?
It is essential.
Because you don't trust us?
It is written that blood must be shed for blood itself, not merely for that of profit.
Okay. I think it's best if we leave separately. Billy, you stay here and clean things up, and then follow on afterwards, all right?
All right.
Bernstein, quick!
She's not here.
Patch me through. Is it urgent?
It's bloody urgent!
Bernstein,
Subject Quigley here in a red priority wavelength.
clearance to patch through. Quickly, what have you got?
Right. Now listen carefully.
The Paymasters are an Iranian outfit called the Army of God. One of them, Ali Halabi, will be part of the hit.
The President is confirmed as the target.
It'll be a bomb. Right, but this is how it goes.
No, Billy boy. This is how it goes. Pop goes the weasel.
Were you running a trace on that call?
We only had time for a partial fix.
Too big a zone to process without more precise scan factors.
Ferguson?
I think they just killed Quigley.
Damn it, Bernstein. Now we do have to rely on Dylan.
Daddy. Daddy. Daddy.
God bless all here.
Dear God. Sean Dillon.
best of the night's yet to come, Patty, my old son.
Your very own chief inspector. You see how well you're being treated tonight? How much respect?
I don't know nothing, Sean. Nothing you need to know or hear.
Billy Quigley.
No, I swear it!
Nora Bell.
Oh, Sean. And again, I tell you, no!
Michael Ahern. They tell me you're his mailbox in this part of the world.
Oh, no, Sean. And I swear by all the saints.
Something tells me that's a great, big...
Dylan, for God's sake!
Now let's talk.
Feel at home?
It'll do.
I thought you'd be comfortable here. It's only temporary, of course.
What are you doing?
Looking for the bug. You're doing a good job, and I know it's here.
Don't you trust us?
Nope. I know you don't trust me.
We're due at the site at 10.
I'll see you tomorrow, Dylan. May you be in heaven half an hour before the devil knows you're dead.
Get them settled in, then you can come up and see him for a moment or two. But it's best that they get used to our routine and our medication before the regular visits can start. Here's Dr. Jackson.
Mr. Tanner, welcome to Our Lady of Mercy. I hope you'll be comfortable here.
I've never been used to much of that till I came to live in New York. Maggie and her husband.
That's because he couldn't stand to be away from his beloved Lochs and Glens after he came back safe from the war.
Aye, Highland Light Infantry.
I've always wanted to visit Scotland. Maybe after my internship here is done, I'll get there. You can give me some names and phone numbers and places to see, and of course, the stories that go with them.
I'll be happy to tell you anything that I've got left in my tales and memories.
No further changes to the schedule, no further leads overnight, so what are we left with this morning?
Ahern, Bell and Alabi, jointly or severally killed Quigley, either because they intercepted his call to me.
Because, as Dylan believes, they had him marked as an informer and had no further use for him.
What use had he been for him already?
Either way, they'll surely abort their mission and go into hiding now that they know we're onto them.
Why? All we have is Quigley's word that Ahern plans to blow up the president today at any one of 5 locations. We don't know anything.
Where's Quigley? He suffers from chronic asthma. The stress is brought on an attack. You can drive the truck alone. 4 miles along, there's a grey Ford Escort with a hood up. Park a van beside it with the lights flashing. We'll be waiting there for you. You still on?
Absolutely. What is great?
It certainly is, me old son.
The President, of course, refuses to change anything from his meeting with our Prime Minister to the cocktail party later on this afternoon.
Which is the only semi-public event scheduled. Why is that?
It's a clever, non-official way of getting him to meet up with the Chinese Foreign Minister Chow Lin. It's his first trip ever out of China, and of course things are still highly sensitive from an ideological standpoint between the two countries.
Well, that'd be a dramatic place for an attempt.
That's all from the sports desk. And now to recap on today's main headlines. Hopes for the peace initiative in the Palestinian West Bank took a backward step today when right-wing Jewish settlers clashed with police in Nablus. And news has just come in that a bomb has narrowly missed the American presidential motorcade on its route to an official function with the Chinese foreign minister.
What's
But
that,
the president
Uncle?
will still be fulfilling
An
the
assassination
rest of
attempt
his
on the
private
American
reception
president.
later today with Foreign Minister Chow Lin. They will be planting an almond tree to symbolize the hope for world peace.
Maybe you can go home early after all, Dylan.
You think it's over?
Like one hell of a big full stop to me.
Suppose that's what they want you to think.
They kill their own people to make us think it's all over.
Sure. This could all be a decoy to make us drop our guard.
How do you feel, Mr. Tanner?
No pain, if that's what you mean. I feel like I'm floating on a sea of jelly. Do they all feel like that? Or does everyone feel differently when they come to die?
Everyone seems kind of happy to know that it's going to happen. You know, that the end is in sight. That the pain is going to go away forever.
That makes sense. Did my Maggie leave something with you to give me?
Something like this?
I got a taste for it when I was in Burma. But you don't want to hear about that.
Is this you here, in Burma?
No, that was the one I was in Chongqing, China, with Sir Ian, the Laird of Loch Dhu, the estate where I worked in Scotland. We were in the Highland Light together. I had the honour to serve him.
What were you all doing there together in China?
No, I gotta tell you that I swore an oath of secrecy. Do you understand oaths, promises?
Aye, Jack, I do.
It's a long time ago. Everybody's dead. I shall be too soon. No, one minute. It was Chungking, China, 1944. There was me and the Major, my late Ian Campbell.
What happened to Shanghai Shen?
No use, Louis. The two of them will never get together. They both want exactly the same thing.
But, China itself.
I must still protest at the presence of this man here at the manor on such an occasion, Brigadier.
I take full responsibility for him, Mr. Jones. The President's about to arrive.
Why'd you come after me? Quigley's got a lot of friends.
It's not because I like you. You're the only one I couldn't break, but don't let it get around.
What? Sean Dillon. The bastard who ran out on us before the shopping mall job.
Good. Then we'll take him out too.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can now welcome the President of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable Foreign Minister of China, Mr. Chao Lin.
Mr. Foreign Minister.
How do you do, Mr. President?
Shall we begin?
Oh, absolutely. You start.
It is with very great pleasure that we meet today with Chao Ling, the Honorable Foreign Minister from China, to plant this almond tree, to symbolize all that we hope will lie ahead for all the countries of the world, to symbolize the peace we urgently desire.
I, too, am filled with joy that our countries and the British Isles and Hong Kong should be growing closer together at last.
Bob! Get him out of here! Move it!
Oh, girl. You put that down right now so we can all sit back and relax.
It's a shame not to blow it after all the trouble he took. It was one of his best, too.
What do you think his chances are?
Bellamy is the best surgeon in the country. That's how good his chances are.
How did did you get Dylan to come over to us?
Have my methods, Watson.
He said it was mainly blackmail.
Okay. It was a setup. It had to be. It was the only way. If his own life hadn't been threatened, he'd have killed me.
Why?
Because I was in charge of his interrogation in the Maze prison.
You were?
We picked him up along with all the others after the Maguire atrocity. Back then, anything went. We had 7 days to break them. One man sprayed with a fire hose 48 hours, but we got confessions from all of them, except Dylan. He never broke. I've wanted him on my side ever since.
Oh, I hope he'll pull through. Please, God.
I thought you didn't like him.
If I hadn't been so slow, so bloody unprofessional, I just froze.
Killed Nora Bell.
That murderous bitch deserved to die. Sorry. Guess I'm not the nice Jewish girl Dylan thinks I am.
I've known that all along, my dear. You're an extremely Old Testament Jewish girl. That's why I wanted you in my unit.
Okay. So take it again from there. You knew this Chinese guy was somebody pretty damn important.
Yes, but it wasn't until later, when he became leader of China, that I realized it was Mao Zedong.
If we are to win the war with the Japanese, we need the help of you and your rebel forces.
What do you offer me in return? Officially, you are still supporting Chiang Kai-shek.
Yes, and the Pentagon attitude is that we've already thrown away more than enough lend-lease on him. We're not able to offer any more in the way of arms and ammunition.
Which are the only things I need in my struggle.
But my hands aren't tied behind my back. And I'm sure we can find a way for the RAF to fly weapons and ammunition to you over the hump, to Kunming. Say, 10,000 tons a month.
But what would I have to do for such munificence?
I've drawn up a covenant for us.
A covenant?
I'll explain. The Christian God made a promise to the Israelites. And they made a commitment to him to worship him alone. That is a covenant.
And this covenant? Does it worship me alone or you?
It binds His Majesty's government to supply you with all your military needs if you agree to extend, should you ever control China, the Hong Kong Treaty by another 100 years.
I think it's easy for me to say yes, Lord Mountbatten. Have you got a pen?
Nurse? Nurse,
Yes, Doctor.
book me a call to Italy, please.
Padrone.
Questo chi è? Sì.
Tell me.
I've seen worse, but...
But?
They were dead. Katamana? The night you saved Charlene?
How did you know he was the real target, not the president?
Come, I'll tell you.
I always knew that there was a God for waifs and orphans.
So, this is where he lives. It's beautiful.
He'll tell you how the family have paid for it with their lives over 2,000 years. During the Punic Wars, the Carthaginians held out against the Romans on that mountain over there for 3 years. The Vikings, the Normans, the Italians all attacked them, but the Lucca clan kept its land.
Marco, nice to see you. Have you met Asta, my daughter?
How do you do?
Mr. Morgan, Miss Morgan, Don Giovanni is waiting to start.
Uncle, good to see you.
Come here, child. You're more beautiful than ever, eh? It's 18 months since I saw you in New York. I was devastated by your mother's tragic death.
I know. We loved her so.
And you, Carlo, you're looking well.
And you look wonderful, Uncle.
My uncle, Yun Tao.
Mr. Dillon, I thought you would be more likely to come if my niece brought the invitation.
I see.
I'm a businessman based mainly in Hong Kong, although I have many interests abroad, such as this one.
How can I be of help?
I am, let us say, a political exile from the mainland. I have very few friends in the old guard.
Well, plotting to assassinate the foreign minister isn't going to change that.
My uncle would have nothing to do with such an idea, Mr. Dillon.
Things are changing rapidly in China, Mr. Dillon, and I'm not optimistic the changes are good ones, especially for us in Hong Kong. You must know that the British lease expires in 1997.
I'd heard that.
I have over $200 million tied up in the colony, and no one is going to take that away from me.
So, let me tell you more about this story. Cousin Aldo's boy, the young doctor, he's a good boy, you know. He thinks first thing of me.
Ah, and you think first thing of me?
Because you're already going to Scotland.
Here's my Uncle Giovanni. But he is also Cancer the Crab, so he does everything sideways.
You're dealing with China, but not getting very far.
It won't be long. I've arranged to have someone taught a lesson or two.
Even so, why pass up some extra help to safeguard the millions we've got invested in Hong Kong? But maybe the Chungking Covenant can help. If you can find it.
What?
I think it's easy for me to say yes, Lord Mountbatten. Have you got a pen?
Mountbatten and Mao both signed this so-called Chungking Covenant. You cannot imagine the power of the chairman's signature on such a document, even today.
Then there's no official record of this document. How do you know that your information is correct?
That's just the point, Mr. Dillon. I need you to confirm its existence and get it for me. Get out.
What the hell was that all about?
One never knows. We have these problems from time to time.
Someone wants your uncle to stick to catering. Where'd he learn to fight like that?
He's a Shaolin monk. A dark master. Like his father. And his father's father. Going back hundreds of years. Today they are known as the Triad of the Secret Breath.
Man avoids warfare by preparing for it.
Exactly. The monks learned that lesson. And members of my family learned the art. They passed it down, and over the centuries, they fought on behalf of the poor, even against the emperor's army when necessary. My uncle simply carries on that tradition.
Still no reply, and the bugs picked up no movement in the apartment.
Nothing except the phone ringing, which have all been your calls, or Operative Bernstein's.
How many calls from her?
Let me check. This week, 14. Last week, 9.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for letting me stay here. London's not a city I can disappear in.
Where will you go?
I hadn't really decided. Maybe Paris.
Do you have someone there?
No. It wouldn't be fair.
To her or to you?
I'll help your uncle any way I can.
Thank you.
Good night, Martin.
There's one more person involved in this business, Mr. Dillon. Carl Morgan. and that's his stepdaughter, Asta. I think he's looking for the same thing.
Well, you've got deep pockets. I'll keep an eye on them as well.
Good. Hopefully it won't be too strenuous. But your stay with us here seems to have been beneficial?
Yes, thank you. Yeah?
There you are, at last.
I was just packing to go.
On the contrary, welcome back. I said when you were fully recovered.
No. You let me go. I'm going home.
Where are you going to go? You've got an assignment?
That's none of your business.
Dylan, there are a few hundred countries in the world at the moment. I can make you a wanted man in all but 6 of them. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life in Chad or Upper Volta? Stay there. I'll be with you directly.
Just a minute.
Pulse fine. Racing just a bit. He should be awake soon. It's hard to calculate the time element with these drug dosages. We'll come back in an hour. safe house. Where? London, Holland Park. Please, I hate guns.
You should change your clientele. God bless all here.
God save you kindly. I know you're a bastard, Dylan, but for all you knew, you could have killed us.
I knew there were blanks, there was no recoil. Well, it's been more fun than Euro Disney. Listen, you could have saved yourself a lot of trouble by just asking me if I was ready.
Be sure you still had your appetite.
Oh.
Welcome back.
What do you got this time?
We don't exactly know what yet, but the Who is the Sicilian Mafia and a gentleman called Carl Morgan.
There's one more person involved in this business, Mr. Dillon. Carl Morgan.
At his best, Morgan is a wonderful frontman for the Mafia. Goodness knows how much money has been laundered through his world leisure empires. At his worst, some kind of enforcer.
What's he got to do with the investigation or me?
I understood that the Sicilian Mafia was one of your sources for buying weapons for your clients.
That's right.
Well, you'd do anything if the price is right. Perfect credentials for getting in the good graces of Morgan. When we can locate where he is. That is his stepdaughter, Asta. She's somewhere in England, so he won't be far away. Attractive, isn't she?
Looks like he agrees with you.
Why do you say that?
Look at him. Can't keep his hands off her. What about the wife?
Dead. Drowned a year ago, diving off a Greek island. Here's the autopsy. Faulty tank. What do you think?
This is no accident. This is it? This is the report?
Morgan wasn't even questioned. I got that from the dead file from a friend in Greek intelligence.
Somebody put a stop to the investigation. You think he killed her?
Or arranged to have it done.
Maybe she knew too much.
Or maybe it was something else. Maybe he wanted Asta for himself.
Hey there.
Hey, I want to talk to you.
I was just thinking of you.
Why?
Because I worry about you. You're being torn in two.
You're too smart for me.
Isn't that why you like me? Oh, by the way, you haven't talked to me yet.
That's nothing, really. I have a lead on Morgan. Your uncle should be happy.
You play many sides. No matter who's involved. No matter how dangerous.
Yeah, but that's what you like, isn't it? The danger.
Morning, Nigel. Any news overnight?
Another coded communication from the Sicilian source via Hong Kong. Seems we have confirmation of the original source of information. I've just been translating it for you.
The source was New York.
Yes, a young doctor, but related in some way to the Luca clan.
Surprise, surprise. Get Bernstein. I want her on the first plane to the States.
Dr. Jackson,
Yes?
I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may.
About what?
About something called the Chungking Covenant.
I don't know anything about it.
This is a transcript of a conversation you're reported to have had with the Don Giovanni Luca. Do you deny that?
You can't lock me up for making a phone call.
But we could make life very difficult for you with the Board of Trustees. The New York Medical Association might even tarnish what could be a brilliant future. And all because I need a few extra details to help fill in the missing pieces.
I'm Sean Dillon.
Very nice. But I have to go.
Why wouldn't you dance with me? I can tell you've had a lot to drink, so I'm just gonna let you go.
So you're having some fun, that's all.
You video all your patients?
Sure. I'm funded by the Bates Foundation to do a study of latent aggressive tendencies in terminal states, such as we find in the patients here.
I'll take it with me in my flying jacket.
Piece of history, Jack. I will make sure it stays safe. Pass me my Bible, will you? Cheers. Top secret, Jack. Only you and I know it's there. The Highland oath on it.
You have it, Laird. You know you have.
So he had it with him on his person when we flew out.
What happens next?
He isn't too clear about it. He figures Mao went back on his deal when he came to power. As for the copy in the Bible, he and the Major got into enemy interference on the way back. The Major was wounded badly. They made it back to Scotland. He lived on, but kind of shell-shocked.
What about the Bible? Did that make it back?
I asked him about it. He kind of chuckled.
It got back too, in a manner of speaking.
The 2355 overnight sleeper service for Glasgow and Edinburgh. This train is formed of two portions. One portion
sorry, but the signals just keep getting fainter and fainter.
Where the devil's he going?
Well, here they are. Now we can get the rest of the new tiles for the roof.
This Carl Morgan says he might be interested in more than just a vacation. His company's in the leisure business, golf courses and the like.
Hi. I'm Carl Morgan. My associate, Marco Taviani, and you must be Lady Catherine Campbell.
I am indeed, and you're welcome. Though Lady Kate's enough of a mouthful for anyone. My factor, Stuart Martin.
Welcome to you. Surely it's not just the two of you.
No, my stepdaughter's coming up by train. She's due to arrive at Shield Station at noon.
You can reach a track around the loch from here, but it's 12 miles or so. She could easily get lost.
We better go look for her.
We could try.
Well, well, well. Would you look at this now?
Oh, who are you?
Who am I? And you're the one that's trespassing here.
What do you want?
I'll give you 3 guesses. What are you doing here?
My father is a tenant of Lochdu Castle as of today, and I have a perfect right to be here and to ask who you are.
I couldn't give a shit about your father. How dare you waltz in here and talk to me like I'm shit? Ah! You little...
Thank you. Why did you follow me?
Esther? I want to talk to you.
All right.
Esther!
Oh.
Esther!
Carlo, thank God you're here.
What happened?
There was no car at the station and I walked.
Walked over that mountain?
And then I got lost. I'm sorry.
I saw a man running out there.
He attacked me and Mr. Dillon helped me.
I'm Carl Morgan. This is Lady Catherine Campbell, the laird of Lochdu Castle. My daughter Asta.
I don't know where you've sprung from, Mr. Dillon, but I think we owe you some hospitality.
Of course we do, Mr. Dillon. So what's so important? I've got to get back on schedule.
You must follow Don Giovanni's wishes. Find the Covenant.
Well, such good timing. There you are. And look who've just arrived. An old friend of my father's, Brigadier Charles Ferguson, and his niece Hannah.
God bless all here.
Brigadier Ferguson is one of my family's oldest friends.
Huh?
It's been years, though, hasn't it?
Indeed. I know that my niece would love to visit Loch Dew on her way north. It's kind of you to invite us at such short notice.
I don't think we have heard just what you're doing here, Mr. Dillon.
I was on my way through as well, headed north.
We met in a club, and he followed me.
How romantic.
I saw you in Glasgow changing trains.
In the case of war, lying is an indispensable ally. Is the same true of love? I've never been sure.
I think it might be.
You followed my daughter?
To be honest, Mr. Morgan, I came here to meet you.
Well, you've met me now, and I'm sure there's a reason for it. But usually I don't meet with anyone without being scheduled. And if it's Asta you're after, I thank you for coming to raid. But I don't take kindly to wayfaring strangers.
Let me give you some advice, Mr. Dillon.
Now, let me give you some advice. Never wear brown socks with black shoes.
I've heard that too.
So, Signor Taviani, is this your first trip to Scotland?
It is.
Are you here for the hunting?
Oh, are you an expert?
Let's say I'm always trying to improve.
It can be very frustrating when one is not a complete expert. In the mind of the beginner, there are always so many possibilities, but in the experts, there are few.
What is this, another one of your games?
Well, how was I supposed to know you've been here?
I was cultivating the girl. What are you doing here?
We had additional intelligence.
Yeah, well, now you got Morgan, you don't need me anymore. But Charlie, if that fee isn't in the bank by tomorrow, I'll come for you, I swear it.
I'm afraid that's not possible. We have one last objective.
No, deliver Morgan. That was the deal, no extras.
I don't think you're in a position to negotiate, do you? There's a document, a covenant, and it's hidden in a secret compartment in a silver Bible that once belonged to the late Laird of Loch Dew Castle. It's been missing since the war. We have reason to believe it's here somewhere.
What do you want with it?
It's classified.
I bet it is.
I should have known you'd be here. It could take weeks to look through all these.
Why was the Laird want it hidden?
I understand it was out of loyalty to Mountbatten, to his country.
This is his country, not England.
Same difference during that particular war, anyway.
They told me you took out Nora Bell. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry that it had to happen because of me.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, if I'd been faster about it, you probably wouldn't have been hurt so badly.
It's a hell of a thing to kill someone.
I can live with it.
I know you don't like me. But thank you.
Okay.
Carlo. Look at this.
First-class pilot. Expert diver. He worked for the Israelis in Beirut.
Sinking PLO boats, apparently. Not choosy, is he, Mr. Dillon? He's worked for just about everyone. Well, that includes the KGB in the old days.
Yeah? And he was an enforcer for the Provisional IRA?
The English seem to be the only people he hasn't worked for. But you know how unscrupulous they are. Maybe he's working for them right now.
Oh, he does want to meet you in order to get an introduction to Don Giovanni. Well, in any case, he was just using me.
Were you falling for him?
Well, how can I fall for him if I have you?
Where you going?
Just want to explore.
I'll drive you.
Can we join you?
Oh, yes.
Lost the brakes.
The brake fluid line had been cut.
We could have all been killed.
It was your stepfather, Morgan. He wants us dead.
Why?
Why don't you ask him that?
We know he's killed already.
Who?
Your mother.
No. It was an accident.
We don't think so.
Look, I've been on 100 dives. Your mother was murdered.
No. No.
he loves me. And he loved my mother. Why would he want to do it?
We think she knew too much about him.
And we're beginning to be worried about you.
What am I to do?
Will you help us? Will you keep us informed about him?
You want me to inform you on my own stepfather?
That's right.
You never knew my father, did you? What exactly is your game, Brigadier?
Astute of you to guess.
Well, for one thing, you'd surely have been too young. But why did you want to pretend some familiarity?
To keep your other tenant at his ease?
But you are a brigadier. You do work for the government.
In a manner of speaking.
And are you also looking for my father's silver Bible?
Also, was Morgan asking you about it?
Yes. Making quite a big thing of it, too. I've been wondering why.
Do you know where it is?
It never came back with my father. But why suddenly all this fuss about it? After all, it's been lost nigh on 50 years.
Lost? Or has it simply never been found?
Why, maybe, in a manner of speaking. Here it is.
The Covenant?
Not quite. My father came back by troop ship and by train. His possessions, his effects, were on a separate movement order. They came back by plane.
So what happened to the plane?
The crash. In the loch. A big plane went down one night in a storm when I was about 6 years old. That could be where the Bible is buried. Down there. Still. It swooped down over there, right out of sight. But it was turning round, coming in for a new approach. It went down, and down, and down. Like a top, round and round. Slower, slower. It was like it was sucked in by a whirlpool. There, right there, where the shoulder of the hill meets the line of trees.
Still is.
Have you found it?
Found what?
The Covenant. You were planning to keep it for yourself, weren't you? Give it to me. Now.
It's from Morgan, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I love him.
Have you got it? I had it. She's got it.
How does she think she's gonna get away?
Back off! I'll finish him up! Erin!
I see why Marco doesn't want to be caught in this country.
He's rented a Citation jet. It's routed to Oslo. But once it leaves our airspace, we have no way of tracking it.
He's going to Palermo.
Don Giovanni Luca. What the hell are we going to do? He has judges killed to order.
See? See?
Signor Volonte, I'm told we can trust you. What do you advise us to do?
You know what the situation is like here. Mafia are everywhere. And the Citation isn't booked to land at Palermo.
Well, surely that's where they're headed.
Of course, my friend. Just listen. There's an old farmhouse inland at a place called Valdini. They laid an airstrip there last year, probably for drugs. It's grass but open meadow about a mile long. That's where the flight plan says Morgan's going.
What about customs and immigration?
All taken care of by Luca.
Well, can we get to it?
It's family country. Every shepherd boy on the hill is like a sentry. Police movements are like troop movements. Impossible. What do you want me to do?
Wait till I get to Palermo.
See. Okay. Ciao. He arrived at Valdini 2 hours ago. The plane went to refuel at Punta Raisi. The pilots left the airport. We believe Morgan thinks he's safe.
Good. All right, give me enough time to get in there. And I want to see you in the door. All cavalry, guns blazing.
Best of luck. See you there.
Welcome, Mr. Johnny.
Proud and delighted, Signor Don Giovanni. I understand you've got something we're all looking for?
It's Mr. Morgan. Who did it?
Well, Asta played more than her part too, believe me. And of course we have another guest.
Hey, the redoubtable Mad Charlie Ferguson. A great pleasure.
The pleasure's all yours. Li Hao Chang. I'm surprised.
Seeing you like this rather makes up for having my plans wrecked in England.
I always thought of you as a sniveling ass-kisser. I overestimated you. Why don't you just get it over with?
I don't think that's quite what Don Giovanni had in mind.
What the hell is this? It seems so low. I thought it might land.
It's a capitalist world all over now. I'll put you on the market, and I will get some good offers.
Perhaps I dare to bid for myself. I'm flattered.
Don't bid. Any British intelligence officer as senior as you would satisfy them. They're gonna take the skin off your body, inch by inch.
Don Giovanni, where's the covenant?
Yes, Carlo, come.
Asta, you do the honors.
The Chungking Covenant?
Imagine the trouble I can make with this, huh? Now that you know it exists, you're gonna have to pay me plenty.
Put that gun down, Dylan. Or I'll serve his brains up on your shoes.
Put it down. Now!
wonder what you are worth on the open market, Dillon. The friends of Mr. Borger and Kareche would pay handsomely.
Let me kill him now. I'll match any offer.
Did you tell him about us?
What?
What are you talking about?
She's playing you. She's setting you up. She cut the brakes on our car and she told us you did it.
Yes, I did. I did it to get information. I had to give them a reason to believe that I would turn against you. I did it for you.
Your mother, did you do that for him?
What do you mean?
If she had a bad air tank, why wasn't Asta's tank contaminated as well?
Shut up.
It was filled at the same time, the same dive shop. I've got the receipt. Asta picked up the tank!
Her convulsions were so violent, her skull was shattered.
Tell you. She did not love you. My mother, she did horrible things. I loved you. I always,
there was
always,
one woman I
always
loved. And you killed her.
But I love you. I did it all for you.
You are mad.
I love you. I love you.
Where is it?
I never thought I would see the day. They won't believe he's gone in Palermo.
You had to put him in an open coffin in a store window like they did in the Old West.
Mr. Ferguson, the Prime Minister...
Brigadier.
Sorry?
I'm Brigadier Ferguson, if you plan to address me formally again.
Yes, of course. I'm Roland Rousseau with the PM's Internal Security Unit. He sends his apologies, but he's unable to see you right at this moment.
He wanted me to report personally the moment I was back with the Covenant.
As you've been traveling, you evidently haven't heard. Foreign Minister Chow Lin died this morning. The document's usefulness is questionable until the new regime is clarified. So if you'll leave it with me,
I'm sorry, Lazare. I'm not empowered to hand it over to anyone below ministerial rank. Anyway, it's perfectly safe with me.
He's got a girlfriend here, is that it?
Niece of quite a high-powered player. Someone we probably ought to be cultivating.
Well, what better way?
Move. Down there into the alley.
Don't do this. Someone else will
Shut
worry
up
someday.
and
Don't do it
move.
yourself.
Dylan! Do you love her? Say goodbye.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Take care of her. How long will you be gone? In Hong Kong? How long it takes to make the best deal for our people out there?
Would the Covenant have been of use to you?
Of course. I could have used it to bargain with, made a deal to free the dissidents, perhaps. But you've given it to your government.
I don't think they appreciate the trouble it took to get it. I think you'd better have it.